So this is something I don't really talk about on my channel. I guess sometimes I do. It's like YouTube drama stuff, but sometimes I like to talk about it when I can make a political point. Now, I did live stream a bit earlier talking about this, but I thought I'd just make a little video for people who couldn't watch that live stream. And I think I want to get my thoughts in a more, I guess, clear argument, because I think it was a bit all over the place on the live stream. But basically, there's a famous YouTuber, a really famous YouTuber called iDubbz. I think he has about 8 million subscribers. Now, his whole channel revolves around edgy style content. So he basically made a whole video trying to make the political point that saying the N-word doesn't matter and it's about freedom of speech and it's just a word. He made other videos basically just exposing people. He uses lots of politically incorrect language. Now, whether he's using this to make a point, which he claims he is, or he just is this sort of edgelord, it is really up for debate. But you can imagine what sort of fan base this type of content and language inspires. So, of course, loads of young children, teenage kids who think it's funny to say all these types of things. And of course, teenage kids think saying that sort of thing is funny because, you know, kids are immature. But basically, the big controversy these days is, he made a video last night, his girlfriend is actually a sex worker. Now, she has an OnlyFans account and she posts porn videos and things like that. And his audience did not like this, really. So a couple different reasons why they didn't like it. And I'm going to get into the reason I want to make this video in the first place at the end. Basically, because he's this edgelord, they didn't like it because they said if this was anyone else you made a video on, you would definitely be making fun of them. And that's kind of hard to disagree with. That's not the main criticism people had, but yeah, a guy like that who makes videos tearing people apart and making fun of them all the time, yeah, I can see the point that if it was someone else, you'd be saying this stuff to them. The second point is a lot of them basically saying he's super emasculine and he's a simp because he's being cuckolded by his girlfriend. Now she's making all this sex content for obviously an OnlyFans page where she has lots of male subscribers, presumably paying her money to do all these videos. And to them, it's kind of, you know, you've been emasculated, you've been cuckolded, and that's so funny. Now, I'll tie that to the other point. Many people also just criticising it because they think sex work isn't real work. Now, a lot of them are saying, you know, how could you do this? You can affect your future job prospects. You don't need to do this. Look, you're going out with a guy who's loaded, you know, 8 million subs on YouTube, millions and millions of views. But then it does stem from this whole belief that sex work isn't real work. Now, to get my own personal views on sex work, obviously, you know, you can probably imagine, I think it's real work. I personally don't care if someone is a sex worker, and I actually think it's a good thing, especially things like an OnlyFans account where you are managing it. You're basically taking yourself out of an exploitative economic system. You're managing your own business. You're getting people to pay you directly money to do this style of content, and everything you're doing is making you money. That's far better than getting up at 6 a.m. every day, going in to your workplace, working 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever stupid hours people work these days, like I do, and you're being paid like rubbish. You're not getting proper benefits, you're not getting sick pay, you're not getting all these things, and at the end of the day, that all happens so you can make someone else money. So I would say to anyone doing sex work, yeah, like more power to you doing that, because you're making more money, and you're not in this system, and you're not being exploited for your labour. You're just doing it if people want it, and there's a market for it. Even libertarians can appreciate that sort of stuff. If there's a market for it and you're making money, I ain't got a problem with that at all. And I guess if you're more prudish or conservative, you'll have a problem. But come on, the porn industry is one of the biggest industries online. Crazy amounts of views and ads and sites like Pornhub and everything. So yeah, I got no problem whatsoever. And I'm hoping, I feel like the stigma is changing when you have people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying that sex work is real work. Now, the problem with sex work a lot of the time is the connotations go with organised crime, because sex work is largely illegal. So what happens, it ends up in the hands of pimps and criminals, and then you have a lot of underage sex workers being, illegally brought in, well, not illegally in terms of they're coming illegally, they're literally being put into like cargo crates on ships and brought into this country illegally and used as slaves. So yeah, there's all that sort of problem, and then obviously I feel like you have to legalize these types of things to help make the stigma go away. But basically, that's the final criticism I want to get into. Their problem with him is that he literally has a girlfriend who is doing something immoral, unnecessary, but she's all doing it for money. She's basically a prostitute, and that's negative to a lot of people. And what I would also say, another point, the money stuff doesn't have to come into it. Like with any job, if you find it personally fulfilling, and you might be well off anyway, why can't you do that job? So I know people might find that weird, but there's people who are very sexual people. If they get personal fulfillment from doing this type of work, what is people's problem with this? What, you'd rather go work in McDonald's for minimum wage and hate every second of it? Or even if you had money, do you know what I mean? So if you want to do a job that fulfilled you, you want to do that. So for example, if I was absolutely loaded and didn't have to work again, I'd still want to be a journalist, maybe be a bit more relaxed in the work I do, but I'd still want to do stuff. And you could say, well, you got money, why would you want to do that? But if you find it personally fulfilling, then I don't see what the problem is. So to tie it back to his fans, again, like, if you cultivate a personality online, whether that's PewDiePie or iDubbz, you make your whole content around this sort of thing that, I'm going to be edgy, I'm going to say all these words, and then I'm hoping now he's realising the people that attracts won't really back you up when you're doing something that's more, I guess, pushing the boundaries. While a lot of us agree with it, I guess mainstream, it's not as a popular train of thought to feel like sex work is real work. The same way a lot of people don't think YouTube, if you have YouTube as a job, or live streaming is a real job as well. So I hope this makes him realise, and I hope, there's other YouTubers like Angry Joe or Rich from Review Tech who just have these toxic audiences. So when they talk about something slightly political, their fan base go absolutely crazy. So, you see, just type in SIMP right now, type in cuckold, and you'll see all these memes of him. They're all making fun of him. They're all saying, how could they support him? They're all just hiding behind the screen. And it's like people just saying, I don't agree with sex work and everything. So again, I know it's a business, and his videos aren't strictly political, even though sometimes they make political points. But again, I hope this makes YouTubers realise, I guess, when you cultivate images and audiences based on these certain things, it can blow up all in your face when you live, I guess, unconventional lifestyle, especially someone like your girlfriend. There's other things people talk about, like she said she's only one bad day away from having an OnlyFans account, so saying, oh, look, what a hypocrite. I don't care about that. She could have been insecure and just saying it, but she always wanted to do it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what was going on there. So obviously, I haven't got a problem with it. Don't even need to make that more clear. But yeah, my main point is, people like iDubbz, I don't like his content, don't agree with his political views, don't agree with a lot of his videos, but hopefully, like the other YouTubers I mentioned, makes you realise, when you're doing this edgy content, don't expect any sympathy when you do something that people can easily target you for. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments. Follow me on social media at The Tabernacle, mainly on Twitter, but check out my other social media, Facebook and Instagram. Please follow me on Reddit, that is a big one. So u/TommyCahill1995. No, that is not my real name. For people who were commenting after the doxing video saying, you just doxed yourself, that's not my real name, that's a movie character. Also follow me at r/TheTabernacle, that's my subreddit. Check out my Patreon, check out my WordPress, which I think I've made private at the moment, but maybe I'll unprivate that. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.